Hey guys, this is Cruise Roy with the Zephyr Sky X10S Express. I just recently loaded, I went from, I think it's Froze that comes with the X10, and then I upgraded to OpenTX, and very quickly right off to ethos because it's supposed to be the new and improved thing. Not many videos out there on helicopters, and that's pretty much all I need my radios for. My drones are all DJIs and they have their own remotes. But I figured I'd do a little series here. They're going to be short clips on, and then I'll put them together about, creating a model that's a helicopter and maybe the switch functions and getting that all set up. I'm going to do it as I learn it. And I'm not a pro at this. I'm just hoping I get it right. And whoever watches the video, they can make a comment. And we will go from there and try to improve it. Okay, so let's hit the model button. We want a model select. We're going to go to the plus sign. Go to heli. Hit page up. It's going to be a fly barless. I'm going to do a fly barless setup. I'll do a, like if you hit this, you can change it. We'll do an H1, which is, I'm going to use an actual H1 flight controller, but that isn't what H1 means. It means single servo. They got rid of the, like OpenTX, you have to use airplane to use for fly wireless, but now they have fly wireless. And we'll page up, and now we're gonna name it. I'm gonna call it a GOB 500. Gonna do it real time. I know it's a pain just watching me scroll the wheel. Oop. Hit return on that. I goofed. Hold on. Keep passing it. Return. Picture. I have a GOB 500. And once you set this up, I kept hitting return. If you keep doing that, it deletes the model you just created. You definitely got to hit page up. Then it'll bring you back. So, and for the next thing too on this little clip, what we can do is go to the model, and we're going to go to timers. Let's do a timer. So we're going to hit edit timer 1. We can name it. We'll call it flight time. Return. I want it to count down. Set the timer for, we'll go 10 minutes on a GOB 500. That's not 3D, that would be like sport flying. We want it to beep. The alarms will start after 2 minutes. 30 seconds apart. Active condition will be, I'm going to say, throttle trigger. And reset, I'm going to use switch position, and it's going to be the red switch SF up here coming towards me. So just to go back to the model, all the switches are in the right place. As I move the throttle up, the timer starts to move. Put the throttle down when you're all done, and reset it by hitting the switch again, the SF switch. Alright, the next thing we'll do is special functions, callouts, and a timer reset, which I think I already did in this, but we'll do it again. This is Cruise Roy, and I'm out of here. Okay guys, I'm back. We created a helicopter model and we set a timer. What we have to do now, the next thing that you should do is go into special functions. Now special functions is just a way of telling your switches or whatever you do to activate maybe a sound or something else it can do, but switch controlled or even pot controlled. So let's create a new one. So action, we're going to say play a track, enable it, switch position. Now the first one we're going to work with is SE, and we want it, that's for normal. We're going to do normal flight mode. Return, file. So we want this to be normal. I have some soundtracks in here. Let's see if we can find something that's normal. Or idle up, off, but normal will work. Mind me, like I said, when we try to do these real time, I know it'll be annoying. Okay, normal. Normal. Alright. I'll leave it at once. Skip at startup. Okay, so that's for our SE normal switch position. So let's return. We're going to do another special function. Add one. Now this one, play track, enable, always on. A switch position will be the middle, which is SE, and that'll be for a flight mode 1. File. Let's see if there's a flight mode 1 here. Flight mode 1. Play it once, skip on startup. Okay, so that's for our flight mode 1 or idle up 1. Whichever you want to call it, you can name it whatever you want. Let me back up, hit this again, we'll do an add. Now this one will be for flight mode 2. Enable, always on, switch position, SE switch all the way back towards me, return, file, flight mode 2, okay, once,
Flight mode 2. Flight mode 2. Flight mode 2.
All right. We'll return out of that. Now we have one more for the SF switch. So let's add one. Reset where we want to play track. Enable. We want to switch position. SF towards me. Return. The file we want to play is engine off. Play once, off. Alright, let's return back. Let's see if they work.
Flight mode 1, normal. Flight mode 1, flight mode 2. Engine off, normal.
Alright guys, so that's, I don't have to do a timer reset because Ethos does it in a different function than OpenTX. So sometimes you would do a special function for the reset, and that's where you would put in a special function for actual reset, where it says reset. Like if I did a new one, I would say add, and right here leave it at reset, and just come down here, and the active condition would be the switch position,
engine off,
and I do that, and we get back out, and that would be a reset of the timer. Alright, I forgot to put it on enable. Alright, so that would be reset, and you would go into timers. Flight time is already in there, so I would hit that. Alright, so I can leave it as a special function. It's really not going to hurt anything. So let's back out. So you have
engine off,
and it also resets the timer. And then the SE switch.
Flight mode 1, normal. Flight mode 1, flight mode 2, normal.
Alright. Alright. So in the next thing, we're going to do curves, which is throttle curves and pitch curves. So I'll be back in a minute. Okay guys, I'm back again. What we need to do now is curves, alright, and also the throttle hold. Now normally in OpenTX, you would go to your model, go to curves, you would add a curve, and you would put your throttle hold in a curve, but it's not in there. So I had a little trouble finding it at first, but model, just go to your mixer. Nope. Flight mode, sorry. Nope, back out. Okay. It's in mixer. Sorry, goofed. Go down to your throttle, open it up to edit it. Alright. And you can see there's a throttle cut or a throttle hold. We're going to work it as throttle hold. I'm going to go to switch position.
Engine off.
And that's our SF again. Return. Value is 100%, negative 100%.
Flight mode 2, normal. Engine off.
Okay, value is negative 100. The value means wherever the throttle is. I don't need to put the curve in there. It's not really a curve. But if I change this to like, I think it's in the positives or lower.
Engine off.
See where it'll stay.
Engine off.
It stays
Engine
up,
off.
not where you want it when you shut it off. So negative 150 we're going to put it at negative 100. I want the servos to bind. So back to negative 100.
Engine off.
So no matter where the throttle is.
Engine off.
All right. So that's where it is. It's in your mixing channel area, not in the curve area. All right. But also we do need to do curves. So let's go to the curves and type first is, I had one open, so we're going to name it, is THN. Oh, went right past it. Let me back out. I went too far here. I was trying to get in OpenTX. You can go back to capitals or non-capital letters by holding the scroll wheel, but it does not work with Horus. So back to throttle normal. We'll just put them all capitals. Type. We're going to say custom. We're going to do a 5-point, smooth, and like I said, these numbers are my numbers. Everybody's numbers are different, but we're going to do a negative 100, $20, and we're just going to bump it up a little bit to like 40. All right. So that's a throttle normal. And back out on that one. And now we'll do another curve. Add a curve. Name's going to be TH1, so throttle 1. Oh, you dummy. Sure, it's easier to get to the numbers. The OpenTX is cool when you can use the computer software to do this. So we have throttle 1, type custom. So we're going to keep it at 5 points, smooth it, configure the points. So we're going to do a 70, oops, 40, keep forgetting that click. So 70, 40, 40, 40, and 70. So 70, so now we need to go back. Add a curve. Gonna name it throttle 2. lost the numbers again. So throttle 2, type, custom, 5 points, smooth. This one's going to be 85, 60, 60. So 85, 60, 60, 60, and 85. All right. All right, so there's our 3 throttle curves. All right, I'll be back to do pitch curves. Okay guys, I'm back. We're gonna do pitch curves now. So again, going into your model menu, look for curves, add a curve. The name on this is gonna be pitch normal. So PIN we'll call it. Type, custom. I'm going to keep it at 5 points. We'll smooth it. Configuration. Our first point's going to be -30. -10. +12. +52. +100. Alrighty. So -30, -10, +12, +52, +100. All right, let's go back. We need another curve. Add a curve. Let me back up. This one's going to be pitch 1. So it'll just be PI1. Custom on that. Go 5 points. We're going to smooth it out. Going to configure the points as this pitch will be -100, -50, plus 50. And we're gonna go plus 100. Sorry, that's my crazy mom. All right, so we got a negative 100, negative 50, 0, 50, 100. Like I said, these can all be changed to your suitings or even my suitings once I get the heli functioning. But I need one more. Add a curve. We're gonna name it PI 2. You gotta go kind of slow. You zip right by the ones and it gets into all kinds of characters. Type, custom, keep the 5 points, smooth. And again, I'm just gonna put this one again at 100 negative. And then a negative 50, yep. 0, positive 50, positive 100. All right, same. So pitch 1 and pitch 2 are the same, but they'll work with throttle up 1 and throttle up 2. All right, guys. So we'll back out of that. We're back to the beginning here, and I'll be back. Next thing is I'll show you really quick how to reverse channels if you need to. And we got a few other things to go over. Okay, guys, the next tip is if your heli, I haven't set up my heli yet with a receiver or anything yet, and there's plenty of videos there on how to bind a receiver, but we're just doing a basic setup of a fly-by-wire helicopter, but you still need, you know, special functions, curves, reversing channels, all of that stuff, and there really wasn't any videos. So as I learn each step or what direction, it could probably be done in all different directions, but I'm doing it in the way I'm doing it. I followed a few videos and kind of combined everything together, but there's no ethos videos, so I'm trying to work with my old Fatabra Spectrum way of living and OpenTX that I've used on my T16 jumper, or Radio Master, sorry. But anyways, to get to this is a quick one. Let's go into the models again. And what you want to go is to outputs, and that shows you your channel mixing and everything going on here. And the reason the throttle's locked because I have it in lock. But you can pick a channel, and most helicopters, I think it's either 1 or 2 different channels, probably 1 and 4 that have to be reversed. But let's say, you know, I have to change 1, so I'm on there, and where it is right here where it says normal or inverted. That's normal or reversed. I don't know why they use the word inverted, but that's how you reverse it. You know, and then again, if I return, I'm not going to do it yet because I'm not sure on mine. You would go to rudder. Let's say your rudder is wrong. So you go into, you scroll to your rudder, just push the main button, and go to normal and inverted and just change it. And that reverses the channel. All right. So I hope that helps somebody out. And we'll be back in a bit. We got inputs to do. Okay, guys, the next thing is, if you're talking OpenTX, you would say you want to control your inputs, but when you go into this model selection, you have no inputs. There's no menu for inputs. So from what I understand with ethos, just taking a guess, that in the mixer, it's also where they put the inputs. So let's give it a whirl. What we got to do is the throttle curve inputs. So let's go into mixer and go down to throttle. Let's click on it and edit it. Now as we come down, we'll notice that we already put the throttle hold on and a value of negative 100. But if you come down here, they have what's called curve. So if I click on the curve, all the throttles and pitch curves that I already made will be in this menu. So the first one we want to do is throttle normal, which the switch is already in. So I guess that's all you, oh, wait a minute, let me do it. I did it wrong. Throttle normal and okay. Okay, now you have the throttle normal. It's not going to do anything because I have it off, but
Flight mode 2, flight mode 1, normal.
so flight mode normal is there's a mode right there. All right. Now let me shut off the motors again
Engine off.
because it just keeps making the timer go off. I guess we should have did the timer last, but anyways, so you don't have to edit it. Throttle normal is the one that comes up. You don't have to edit it. Like even if you went into edit, it just shows you, it goes right back to curve. What you need to do is add new curve. When you do, two windows open up. You have an X out if you want to remove it, but this here will be your switch position. I'll click on that.
Flight mode 1.
Bring SE full into the middle. Hit return. And what do you want it to do? We want throttle mode 1. Alright, so we have throttle normal, throttle 1. And we don't have to edit it because it's already in there. I guess if you wanted to, you could actually skip the steps that I did and do the throttle curves now. You know what I mean? I didn't have to do them earlier, but that's what I did. So Ethos has got some easier steps, and it possibly could have been done, but it is a way of coming into the mixes and changing it, you know, while you're setting up your helicopter. So let's add another one anyways. Enough of the blah, blah, blah. So we need to do another switch position.
Flight mode 2.
And that's SE facing towards me. Hit return. What do you want it to do? We're going to do throttle 2. And there you go. There's your throttle curves. Let's see. Turn the motors on.
Normal.
So you got throttle normal.
Flight mode 1.
Flight mode 1.
Flight mode 2.
Flight mode 2.
Normal. Engine off.
Alright guys. So that's configuring the inputs to the curves. And you use the mixing menu to make it possible. Alright. I'll be back in a bit for the next tip. Okay guys, another tip. I don't quite know if I need it yet, but I looked into, if even fly wireless, you want to use your gyro gain. The gyro gain would also be in, if we go into mixer, then you go into your rudder, and you want to edit it. If you come down here, you have a category that's called weight. So on the first weight, because your default stick, your SE stick's already in normal, this one to activate the gyro is negative 100%. Alright, then we'll come down here and add a new weight. Of course, we want to use the switch position.
Flight mode 1.
We'll back up. This would be 100%. And then add one more for the third switch. SE all the way to us.
Flight mode 2.
And we're going to set that at positive 102. Now I'm not sure if I need this yet, but that's how you would do it. Like I said, if I'm doing something wrong here, guys, please let me know. Also, we forgot, we have
engine off,
but we don't have engine on.
Engine off.
So let's go back to special functions. All right, let's add a function. We want to play a track, enable, always on. Oh, sorry, it's not always on. We want the flip switch forward, SF switch forward, back it up. Now we want it to play a file, and let's look for something that's motor on or engine on. There's engine on. Play it once. Okay, so that should be set.
Engine off.
Engine off.
Engine on.
Engine on. All right. So now we got that switch working properly. All right. Now I'll be back. The next thing we should be able to talk about is pitch curves. Okay guys, the next step is pitch curves. Normally they add to the throttle on OpenTX. I'm not sure if you create new throttles, or let me show you. This is how I'm going to do it. Go into the mixer, and if you check out when you did the helicopter template, it had a pitch throttle. So I'm going to go into there. It's channel 5. Edit. It says pitch always on. Throttle is the input. Curve. PIN for pitch normal. And it's already in there, so we don't have to edit it. Like I said, instead of me creating all the curves, we probably could have did them right in here as we needed them. But we need to add a new one, and it's working off the same switch.
Flight mode 1, normal.
Flight normal will be pitch normal. Alright, I'm going to come over here and pin norm. Oh, I'm sorry. I did that wrong. The first one has already been created with the SE up. As long as the next one, we're going to change this.
Flight mode 1.
In the middle of flight mode 1. Let's return, and that'll be pitch 1. And now we'll add a new curve for the pitch. We need to switch
flight mode 2.
Flight mode 2 all the way back to me. We'll go over here. And P2. Alright, so the pitch curves
Flight mode 1, normal. Flight mode 1, flight mode 2.
will
Flight
change
mode
with
1,
the throttle.
normal. Flight mode 1, flight mode 2.
Okay, so we'll return to the main menu, and I'll be back in a minute. There's other things I think. The pitch and gyro mixer I won't do, but dual rates and expo will be the next thing. Okay guys, now next tip is dual rates and expos. I had a hard time figuring that out on OpenTX, and you had to keep copying ailerons or elevators or throttles, whatever you want to use dual rate and expo on, but we're going to use it on ailerons and elevator and possibly the rudder. So let's get started. You would go into the model menu, but on ethos go into mixer. I'm already on aileron, so let's do an edit. Alright, always on, curve. On the curve, that's where you're going to put the word expo. Alright, and for the first one we're going to do 40%. It's already there. And now we're going to add a new curve. Now whichever switch I use, which I'm going to use my green switch, which in a minute I'll show you what that one is. I put little, what is it? Ooh, it's an SB switch. But anyways, add. Now it's going to ask you which switch. Now whichever switch you pick, it's SB in the middle. It's going to know that your 40% expo is on the same switch but in the forward position. So our second part on the expo here, I'm going to go for expo, and we want this one to be 30%. And we're going to go to add new. Same thing. We're going to hit that SB switch down. We want it to be on expo. And the percentage on this one, on the expo, will be the same, 30%. Now, the dual rates in expos, what they're talking about is your weight. Now you come down here to weight. The first one, we're going to have a weight of 100%, so that one's okay. We're going to add the next weight, and we want the position switch to be in the right place, so that's in the middle. And the weight in the middle, we're gonna do 70%. 70%. We're going to add the third weight. We're going to add another weight to the switch down. Return. And the weight on that will be 50. Okay. So if you look up and down, we have an expo rate of 40 with 100% weight, an expo rate in the middle at 30% with a 70% weight, and that's the dual rate. The weight and dual rate, I assume, are the same. Expo is 30 on the switch down at a 50% weight. I have no sounds for those yet. All right. So let's back out of that. Now the next one is elevator. We're going to do the same process. Go into elevator, edit. We got to go into a curve, expo. First one, we're going to go 40%. And then we're going to add a new curve. We're going to call it switch. We're using my yellow switch, which is in, I think it's SB. No, SC. Sorry, I've been corrected, SC. And we're going to return. We need an expo rate of 30. Oop. Return. Oh, sorry. I did need to put it on expo. And then 30%. Go at a 30% there. Let's add another curve. Yellow switch all the way down. And the last one, we want to do an expo of 30 again. 30%. Like I said, these can all be changed later on if you use the dual rates, so just leave them up in normal. Okay, so now we need to add the dual rate to the expo, which is on the weight side. So we come down the menu a little bit here. The first is 40 at 100. The next will be 30 and 70. So we have 30, and we need to add a weight. and that's going to be the switch in the middle position. Return. We'll come over here, and this one was 70. Did I say I wanted it to be? Just checking my list. So 70, a 70-30. Okay. Hit OK. We're gonna add a new one. Yellow switch down. Oop, I forgot to hit the thing. Yellow switch down. Return. And the weight on this one wants to be 50%. 50%. And return. Alright, so the yellow switch, you can see how it changes expo and dual rate. You won't see it on that one. Alright, so that's aileron and rudder. I mean, an elevator, aileron and elevator. And now we're going to go back to the rudder, which is channel 4, and hit edit. And we want to come down to curve, and we're going to do an expo. The first percentage on the expo will be 15%. 15%. We're going to add another one. And what switch do I want to use? I want to use my blue switch. It's the SD in the middle. And the percentage on that one, we're going to do 15. Well, expo, percentage 15%. I'm going to put all the expos at 15% on the rudder. Let's add a new curve. The switch here would be the blue switch down, which is the SD down. What do you want it to do? Expo, percentage, we're going to go 15%. Okay, we're done with that. Now the dual rate end of it is the percentage. On the rudder, the first is 100, and when we add, we're going to bring it up here. So the first one is 100. We're going to add a new weight. Click on the switch in the middle. Return. We don't want it at 100%. We want it at, the next two are going to be 70. Like I said, these can be changed to suit yours. I'm following some sample startup. So return, add a new weight. We want the blue shift down, SD down. Come over to percentage. We want to drop that to 70 as well. All right. And there you go. You got your dual rates for aileron, elevator, and rudder. All right. So you got an expo of 15% on the switch. And it's on the rudder side. So we got the rudder going. All right. So let's go back to the main helicopter again. And I'll be back with another tip.